So for those of you who used last night's game plan, you should have had a phenomenal green day, making hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars. Inside of Team Roar, we ended up having multiple 100% profit returns, buying SPY call options multiple times throughout the day with multiple different strikes, absolutely crushing it. In terms of last night's game plan, it was very, very clear to only buy put options if we go under 589. If you are seeing higher support form above 589, it's going to be a bullish trend day. In terms of today's overall price action, you should have been buying nothing but call options. The next level above for puts was at 602 for the gap close reversal. With that being said, in terms of tonight's game plan, it is going to be very simplified. It's going to be a very lucrative trading opportunity, once again, to be making money trading SPY options. Let's get straight into it. So, in terms of the history ended up repeating itself. As you can see right here, the SPY had a massive gap down, ended up bottoming at 589. And then once it started to form higher support, it had a very strong bullish trend day to $600. The same exact history repeated itself. There was absolutely no reason to be buying put options because the SPY ended up bottoming at 589. And then you could see in terms of extended hours trading session, there was resistance at 590.50. Once we broke above 590.50, there was a higher floor with a green, red, green bullish pattern with a breakout, with a drop back down to turn this previous resistance right here into support for a break and retest. So for those of you who listened to the game plan and played for the gap that was waiting to fill above at 601.82, you should have had a phenomenal green day. Take a look. As soon as the gap ended up filling, which was the only level I recommended for put options in terms of the resistance level at 601.82, we are already starting to sell off. You see how once the SPY hit 601.82, it had a gap close reversal. We had an overreaction to the upside, closed the gap during extended hours trading session. Now we're experiencing a drop. So here's the game plan heading into tomorrow. This is going to be very simple. You should be printing at the speed of light using this game plan. So in terms of the stock market, let's get into it, man. I'm going to walk you through how the daily chart is setting up. So based off of the daily chart pattern and based off of recent history, last time when this occurred, the overall trend was bullish, right? Now, what I want you to keep in mind is the following. In terms of like the overall weekly trend, it was bullish and there was great dip buying opportunities to be buying the dips on oversold levels. But this is what I want you to focus on, man. So in terms of how the daily candlestick ended up closing on the overall SPY, right? So we have this green trend reversal bullish candlestick in the middle right here. I went back throughout the chart history, and based off of this overall pattern, there's going to be multiple opportunities setting up for puts and calls, but the overall trend can still maintain bullish throughout the week. Now, this is what I want you to be aware of. So in terms of how this daily candlestick reacted right here, the previous day highs and the previous day lows, based off this overall pattern, are going to be key critical levels to be trading at heading into tomorrow, right? In terms of how it reacted here with a similar daily candlestick, there was a nice drop throughout the day, and then it ended up having a bullish recovery. In terms of how it reacted here, again, with another very similar situation, it had a nice drop and it ended up bottoming towards the middle, and then it had a bullish recovery. So these are the overall game plans, and this is what I want you to understand. Right now, in terms of the SPY, we ended up closing at 597.77, right? So I'm going to draw a level right there. That's going to be the previous closing price. So in terms of 597.77, this is where we ended up closing. Now, this is what I want you to understand heading into tomorrow. This is going to be very simple. So the first level is going to be the previous day highs. So in terms of where the high of day was, the high of day was right here at $600. I want you to think of this as your make or break level, right? So if you're seeing $600 react as a resistance level, it's going to be an opportunity to be buying put options. If we're gapping up tomorrow, it could potentially have a gap and go, but this can go either way in terms of the higher levels. So be very careful, especially heading into tomorrow, in terms of buying call options at higher resistance levels. The easy money making opportunity is going to be to buy the dip at oversold levels, which is going to be previous day lows. And then in terms of the other level I have for you, as you can see right here, we have resistance in the pre-market at 594.50. And then we're also going to go with 595.50. In between that overall zone, 595 to 594.50, even a little bit under, along with the previous day lows, are going to be the best levels to buy call options heading into tomorrow, right? So the main zone for calls is going to be 594.50 to 595 break and retest. Based off the daily chart pattern, there's going to be a good dip buying opportunity if the SPY maintains below the previous day highs. And if we can crack through the previous closing price, 590.70, the dip buying opportunities are going to be at the following zones: 595 to 594.50, and then towards the previous day lows, which is going to be at 591.60 to 590.50. Those two zones are where you're going to be buying call option. Now, it can either bottom at one of the two zones. So I need you to use strong bullish 30-minute candlestick confirmations. Use strong bullish 30-minute candlestick confirmations. If you're seeing a floor, a bullish pattern develop at the higher level, go with the higher level. If you're not seeing any confirmation, then wait for the SPY to drop back down towards previous day lows. So in terms of the overall levels, heading into tomorrow in the new ladder, this is going to be very simple. 590.50 to 591.50 is an auto buy zone. I would automatically buy call options for a day trade at that overall zone, right? You can even consider a swing trade as well, but I would be buying call options without a confirmation. Now, I always encourage traders to use confirmations, but in terms of what I'm seeing with the daily chart pattern and based off overreactions and reversals, I'd be willing to just get in calls towards this 591.50 to 590.50, right? You can scale into that zone for calls. Now, you're going to want to use a strong bullish 30-minute candlestick confirmation pattern when going with the higher levels. So 594.50 to 595. That's going to be the break and retest along with the daily chart pattern where it says it's either going to bottom towards 595 to 594.50 or the previous day lows based off the daily chart pattern for the oversold dip buying opportunity. Now, the next level above 595.50 is going to be the following: the previous closing price. The previous closing price is 597.77. This is going to be make or break. If we are maintaining under the previous day highs and we drop below the previous closing price and react bearish, we're going to be on track to go back down towards the middle of the zone or potentially to the lower zone, right? So 597.77 is make or break. The next resistance level is going to be $600. If you're seeing bearish reactions at $600, you're going to want to be buying put options towards $600. So based off of what I'm seeing, man, the easy money for call options is going to be to go with the oversold zones. It's going to be a bit more difficult to be trading at, especially on the call side, a bit more riskier to be going with the higher levels. So in terms of call options, it's best to wait for the lower levels. And in terms of puts, I would focus on higher resistance levels. Keep an eye on $600 and then 601.82. The gap filled during extended hours trading session. But if we go back up to that price during normal trading hours, it's going to be a high level of interest to be buying put options. So that is the main ladder that I'm going to be giving you heading into tomorrow. You know, if we do end up gapping up, I mean, right now we're having a small gap up, nothing too crazy. This can change very, very quickly. So it's going to be make or break, man. Like I'm telling you, this right here, I mean, this is critical. Look at this price action right here. Just look at this, man. I'm telling you, this level right here, this previous closing price to 598.80. I mean, just look at these zones. 602, a lot of resistance, and then 598.80 to 597.77. In between that zone, if we react bearish and maintaining below 600, we're gonna fucking drop to 594.50, right? So in terms of today's overall game plan, I'm telling you, it's going to be a bit more difficult to be trading at these higher levels. But if you're seeing bearish reactions at these higher levels, you know, 598, 599, 600, or 602, if you're seeing bearish confirmations, then it's going to be a good opportunity for puts. In terms of calls, the easy money is 595, 594.50 in previous day lows. Now, in terms of calls, the one higher level that you can try to use if we're gapping up or if we're opening up flat, just be very fucking careful because this is not easy money, but it can work. So in terms of calls, if you're seeing the perfect confirmation at the previous closing price, 597.77, then I would consider calls, right? So I gave you the three zones. 597.77 is make or break. 594.50 to 595. Keep an eye on calls with confirmation. 591.50 to 590.50 that's going to be an auto buy calls. Just understand, man, previous closing price is make or break. Put options is best to focus on higher resistance. 598, mid 599, 602, higher resistance. Previous closing price, I want you to think of as make or break. And then in terms of easy money, it's calls at the lower levels. But if you're seeing the perfect confirmation for puts or for calls at the previous closing price, you can try it. Just to understand, for calls, the easiest money would be at the oversold level. There could be some easy money, at the previous closing price if there's the perfect confirmation for calls. Just be careful, man, because the pattern is saying multiple things. And in terms of the puts, just upper resistance levels, and then a previous closing price reacts bearish, then you could try puts as well. If this gaps up, we could potentially have a gap and go. It could go either way. It's a bit more difficult based off the current levels and the overreaction and what I'm seeing on the overall patterns. But just understand in terms of what happened last time this occurred, the overall trend for the week was bullish. And we're going to take this, day by day. But the overall trend for the week was bullish. We still technically have a gap that is waiting to fill above at 602. Now, we did just have a crazy overreaction, right? So in situations like these, it's kind of just best to focus on the oversold levels for calls and the overbought levels for puts. And then in terms of like that middle range, 598 to 597 to 597.70 to mid 598, that middle range, you can trade either way in the middle range. Just remember, though, it's closer to the put side in terms of holding. It could be favoring the bears in that situation. So keep that in mind, but use the perfect confirmation. So just keep all this in mind heading into tomorrow. This should help you print and go green at the speed of light. That's the analysis that I have in terms of tonight. Use those levels. Make sure you're using confirmation at the overall levels. And in terms of, that's what it is that I'm seeing, man. So very, very simple. Now, in terms of the overall game plan, let's get into this, man. So in terms of the trades that we ended up making, these were the trades that we ended up making today. I'm going to walk you through this. As you can see inside of Team Roar, you gain access to a real-time zero-date options trading alert system. So in the pre-market, you're going to see there is a game plan with newly updated levels and everything, going over extended hour session and stuff like that, right? So very, very simple. In terms of the game plan, buy the dips as long as we stay above 590, right? Only go short if we go below 580. Very, very simple. Now, with that being said, I'm not going to be going all over, all this in terms of the background to all the system and stuff like that. You have to be in the group to experience this. But in terms of the trades that we ended up making, keep in mind, we only trade zero-date options. Now, in terms of the trades, we ended up buying 597 calls for 70 cents a contract at 9:32 a.m. So inside of Team Roar, we do not use stop losses. So we're trading far out of the money zero-date option contracts. We have the entire day for the contracts to either go green or to go in the money, right? We can make profit before they go in the money. And then once they go green, we set the profit stop when we're up 15% plus. So in terms of the morning trade, we bought calls right here. This is where we ended up buying calls. You could see. And then look what happened. It dropped from 80s all the way to 27 cents. We don't use stop losses. I tell you all the time, we trade the trend. We have the entire day for the contracts to go green. When we go green, we set a profit stop, move the profit stop up higher to ensure that we don't get back the bulk of our gains on a pullback and we get stopped out for profits. In terms of a losing trade is where the trade expires worthless and goes to zero and it never went green. Because if it went green, we would have won because we set the profit stop, right? Now, with that being said, this went down all the way to 27 cents. So this is a dead play. When we have a dead play, we hold the trade. We don't cut the loss. We put in our entire max risk per trade as our entire position size. The beauty of option contracts is you know exactly how much you're going to lose. Whatever you put in is the most you can lose. What we put in is our max risk per trade. So it could be a couple percent of your account, right? Obviously, if you have a smaller account, you're going to have less of a cushion and you're going to have to risk more, but you can literally start with just one contract. And these trades are designed to have the biggest percentage gains within the stock market. You ain't going to see any bigger gains within the stock market trading zero-date options. This is the best type of system you can master. So the point is, they dropped to 27 cents, but as you can see from our entry, that was a phenomenal entry and a phenomenal trade because the contracts quickly went to 300 a contract. When you trade the trend, you should hold the trade for bigger gains, for bigger wins. Most traders try to make all their profit very, very quick periods of time, right? They size in big, they use stop losses, and they take the win short. That's not the right way to trade. The right way to trade is to trade effectively. Trade the trend. If you're seeing a big move, hold for the big move. Most traders can't hold for the big move because they risk too much or they use stop losses. Like I said, this is the cheapest, lowest risk, lowest barrier to entry with the biggest percentage gains. And we have the highest win rate in the game doing this. And we focus on trading the trend. The beauty of the trend is it gives you the biggest gains because you can hold along with the trend. You don't have to time the trade perfectly because the dead plays that go from 90 cents to 27 cents, well, there's no fucking stop losses. We hold the trade. It's still a phenomenal entry and it's still massive gains. And not only do we do that, but like I told you, what it is that we do when we're down big percentage-wise on a play, we buy a second strike. So in terms of the second strike, we ended up going with 596 calls at 69 cents at 10:22 a.m. I tell you all the time, when we trade the trend and we enter a play that's a dead play, we hold it, we'll still sell it for a win, right? So on this particular trade, you could have literally made a 300% return and the trade dropped over 70% and you still could have made a 300% return. On this trade, it was a much better entry as it should be because it's the same side. We're going on calls. It's just a different strike and the timing was impeccable. You're going to see all the time when a play is dead, instead of adding to a loser, we hold that trade and we buy a second strike, right? So instead of adding to losers, we use far out of the money options as a way to buy a second strike. That gets us a much better entry for a much bigger percentage gain. And we hold both of the strikes. So 10:22 a.m., 596 calls for 69 cents a contract. If you go to 10:22 a.m., you're going to start to realize that there's not a single fucking person or organization in this fucking planet that is trading or printing like us at the speed of fucking light. As we're holding the fucking L, we enter another fucking trade on the same fucking strike, and this goes from 50 cents all the way to 300, let me go to 596 calls. So this is where we entered. Right here, this is where we entered, literally just 3 minutes from the fucking low, a lot better than the previous trade that we're still in. And then that we were still holding. And you could see this quickly went from, from where we got in, literally the 67 cent range all the way to 400 a contract. 60 cents to 400 in 20 fucking minutes. Where are you going to risk $60 a contract to make $400 in 20 fucking minutes, man? Do you understand? This is the beauty of trading far out of the money 0-day option contracts. You hold the trend, no stop losses, take a second strike. The second strike is a lot better entry and timed a lot better, so the gains are still big. But the first strike still went up 300%. This strike went from fucking 60 to fucking 400, man, for 600% plus. So that right there should have you more than green enough for the entire week. Those two trades alone are back-to-back wins where you could have experienced a 1,000% return. If you make a 1,000% return and you're sizing in accordingly with the risk management system that we've explained to you, then in that particular situation, you can literally afford 9 consecutive 100% losses in a row and you'll still be fucking green, or 18 consecutive 50% losses in a row and you'll still be fucking green. So the point is, if you are starting the week off with 2 massive wins in the morning where you could have made over a 1,000% return, then you should be up massively throughout this entire fucking week. Like I said, man, 9 consecutive losses in a row, you're still fucking green. So do not give it back for those of you who didn't sleep on us and took the fucking calls, man. The game plan was perfect. The trades were perfect. So you're going to see, man, everything I'm saying is going to continue to repeat at the speed of fucking light. I always tell you, when we're down on the first fucking play, we trade, we hold with the trend, and then we buy second strike. The second strike is better. So obviously, take a little bit more size. Size in like 25, 30% more in the second fucking trade. Risk a little bit more. It's worth it because the entry is going to be insane. So that's 2 for 2, right? And then we had 602 SPY calls for 49 cents a contract. That trade didn't work out, but it doesn't matter because you're already up, literally 1,000% plus potentially with 2 wins right there. And then in terms of the next trade, 601 SPY calls for 51 cents a contract at 12:24 p.m. So if you go to 601 SPY calls right here and we go to 12:24 p.m., you're going to see this is where we ended up getting in on this trade. So as soon as we got in on this trade right here, this quickly went from 40 all the way to 60. That's a 50% gain. So you should have been stopped out for overall profits with the profit stop, right? If you chose to hold it, it did end up going a little bit higher to 66 cents later on throughout the day. So that's another win. Now, in terms of the next overall trades, let's get into it. So we ended up buying 598 SPY puts for 57 cents a contract at 3:12 p.m. So if you go to the puts right here at 3:12 p.m., you're going to see this is where we got in towards the 50-cent range. And then it ended up going to 80 cents twice. You set the profit stop when you're at 15%, you get stopped out for profits. And then in terms of another way where we increase the winning, we add to winners to increase the gains. And we quickly set a profit stop to protect our new average cost. Once we add to those winners, all we need is one small move within our favor, set the profit stop, move it up higher, and very, very simple, we get stopped out for profits. So those were the overall trades that we ended up making today. I mean, you really have to ask yourself, man, what other group, what other trader do you fucking know of who literally made this trade, man? Like, look at this, man. It doesn't get better than this, man. It doesn't get better than this. You know, in terms of these first two fucking trades, like, it's fucking insane, man. Look at this. 597 calls for 70 cents at 9:32 a.m. Like, we created a system where if you're down 90%, you still fucking win as long as you trade the fucking trend. Because I told you, we're going far out of the money, but we're going close enough to where it goes in the money if we're right about the trend. We have the whole fucking day for the contracts to go green or to go in the money. You know, we can make a lot of money before they go in the money, even if the play is fucking dead, man. So it's like the first trade went from fucking 90 to 27 cents. But we've created a system where even small accounts don't need a stop loss. So you just hold the fucking trade, set the fucking profit stop, and you're going to see, man, in terms of the beauty of this situation is, it was just a straight fucking uptrend. So you should have been profit stopped out ideally in the 200s to mid 200s because there wasn't a big enough pullback. You moved the profit stop up higher, but there wasn't a big enough pullback to get stopped out for profits until the 200 to 250 overall range. That's when it started having a big pullback. And then this fucking trade was perfect, man. Look at this. And again, there wasn't really a big enough pullback on this trade. This was the second one in terms of the SPY fucking calls, right? 596 calls for 69 cents at 10:22 a.m., right? This is the second strike. You're in at the exact fucking lows. Everyone should have been in on this one or even sized in bigger because we're trading the overall trend. What did last night's game plan say? Only do puts if we go below 589 or if we hit 602. So there was no fucking reason to do puts. So instead of sitting on the fucking sidelines, trade the fucking trend, buy the fucking calls, hold the fucking calls, set the fucking profit stops, man. It's like, look at this. In terms of a pullback, this was somewhat of a pullback. So you would have been in right here towards 70 cents. Right fucking here. 2 minutes to get in. More than enough fucking time. Have your fucking option chains open and fucking ready to print at the speed of fucking light. Because if you're fucking sleeping on as well, oh, I waited 2 fucking minutes. Oh shit, the fucking contracts are at fucking 180 in 3 fucking minutes. You know how many people we have who have notifications on, and as soon as we get in the fucking trade, they click the fucking button? Look at this. As soon as we alert the fucking trade, this is the highest fucking volume on the fucking day. These big fucking spikes are coming from our secured private organizations. Do you understand how many multimillionaires, how many members we have? We print non-fucking stop, man. Those of you who are choosing to sleep on us, you're genuinely choosing to stay broke, man. So with that being said, man, who the fuck do you know of is giving you the plan a day before the market opens, allowing, giving you that skill set, teaching you to be self-sufficient, but then started a secured private organization that gives you the best trades. You know, you can be self-sufficient, you can trade on your own. You just need to understand there's multimillionaires with 10 plus years of experience trading far out of the money 0-to-8 options. And there's just no way you're going to be able to trade better than them. It's going to take a lot of time. I mean, it's possible, but it's going to take a lot of fucking time. I mean, we literally trade and watch the markets from open till fucking close, and also during extended hours trading session. So, I mean, with that being said, you can become better and you can become self-sufficient, but you just got to understand in terms of trades, because that's what trading's about. I mean, a lot of people, they think trading isn't about the best fucking trades. I'm like, dude, as a trader, I want to fucking know who's got the best fucking trades. That's what I want to fucking know, right? And I'm just saying, like, who the fuck do you know is getting in right fucking here on the second fucking strike, built a fucking system where if the first play's down 90%, you're still printing on that with the trend, and then you enter the second fucking trade 3 minutes before the fucking low of day, and you don't get profit stopped out up until the 3 fucking hundreds? Look at this, man. You would have been in right fucking here And there wasn't a big enough pullback until the mid 200s to the mid 300s. You would have been stopped out in between 250 to 350 on that particular trade, man. So losing and going red is a personal fucking choice. And you need to understand, in terms of those two trades alone, you could have potentially made over 500% to 1,000% plus. So do not go giving it back heading into this week. You need to understand, we are starting off the week on absolute fucking fire using the best fucking game plan in the fucking market, man. So be patient. Be patient. Wait to trade the best setups at the best prices, man. Last night's game plan was very, very simplified, easy to make money. So just wait. Trade a little bit less. We're going to take things smooth into this week. Don't go giving back your profits, and just understand, man, we are starting off the week on absolute fucking fire, man. So I gave you guys the opportunity to make money, to trade with the overall trend, to print last night like fucking crazy. If you're serious about joining our secured private organization, we give you the opportunity to access the best fucking trades within the market. These are the best fucking trades you will ever see in the fucking stock market. There is no secured private organization out there that is printing like us at the speed of fucking light that has access to these trades alongside with multimillionaires. It's the first link down below within the description if you would like to get started. You need to understand that this style of trading is the complete opposite compared to how everybody else trades. We don't use stop losses. We hold trades for longer periods to increase the gains. We trade the trend. We buy cheap bar out of money option contracts, set profit stops, leave runners, sell deep in the money, right? I mean, the beauty of the profit stops is it's going to ensure that you don't go green to red on a trade, but also you're going to be in trades like this where when you set a profit stop and you just move it up a little bit, it's like you're never going to really get stopped out. You're going to make like, this is what we want. When we're setting profit stops, we want something like this where it's just a straight fucking uptrend. And then eventually when you're up like 400, 500, 600%, 1,000%, then you get stopped out because it just had, because the contracts just dropped like 50 fucking cents or 100 cents within minutes, right? That's what you want, man. Trades like these where it's just a smooth fucking uptrend. And then in terms of like being profit stopped, you're either profit stopped out right around here in the mid twos, or you're profit stopped out right around here in the low threes, right? Depending on where you set it and where you moved it up to. So for those of you who are serious about making money, it's the first link down below within the description. Those two trades alone would have easily made you hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of fucking dollars, man. I'm telling you, we have many members inside of Team Roar who are printing at the speed of fucking light, non-fucking stop. Look at this, man. We had a member today. His account is up over 206%. And keep in mind, man, they're not risking a lot. People aren't risking a lot to make these kind of fucking gains, man. With small accounts, I've seen many, many small accounts in here with a couple $100 flip to 5 figures. I've seen people with 5 figures flip to multi-6 figures inside of our secured private organization. It happens, all the time. And you're going to see, Wonka, he's been crushing it, lately, $5,000 profit on the overall trade. So I'm telling you, man, we have a lot of members in here who are fucking crushing it. Look at this. Just look what you can do with just one contract. Risking $46 to make $150 literally pays back the monthly subscription with just one fucking contract. We make multiple trades a day. We win nonstop. It's unlimited fucking winning during market open, middle of the day, and on power hour. We've created a system that consistently makes people money. And also when you trade alongside us, you gain a lot of experience within the market and you start to learn how to trade. You start to see the curriculum that it is that I provide to you within these videos come to life because you get our real-time trade alerts. You get to see the real-time timestamps, right? So 11% return. You're going to see, man, I'm telling you, there's nothing fucking like this, man. It's unlimited fucking printing, unlimited fucking winning. $3,300 profit on Webull. Congratulations, man. Absolutely fucking killing it. I'm telling you, man, it's nonstop fucking winning. It's unlimited fucking printing here. It's the first link down below in the description if you are serious about printing us serious about printing with us at the speed of fucking light. So with that being said, I'm going to be signing off. I gave you the opportunity. I gave you the invite. I give you all the fucking options. I give you the option to get the best game plan before the market opens, to print money at the speed of fucking light, to become self-sufficient, to gain experience. In terms of my game plan, it's going to be the most simplified game plan, and it's designed for you to make fucking money. It's going to give you the best setups at the best fucking levels, nothing in between. It's going to give you the absolute best information. And then I give you, the opportunity, if you like, to join our secured private organization where you can trade alongside us and gain access to the best fucking trades. Because like I said, man, as a trader and as someone who's been within the stock market for, over a decade, I want to know who's got the best fucking trades. And I can assure you it's inside of Team Roar. We got the best fucking trades, right? So it's the first link down below within the description. I will see you guys tomorrow within the chat. We're going to absolutely crush the market. I'll see you guys till then.